Welcome back, League mates and listeners, to another Pigskin Pals podcast. This episode is the Week 13 primer, where we're going to be going over every single game from on the Sunday to Monday slate. We already created an episode with the Thursday Thanksgiving slate and the Friday Black Friday game. So I hope everyone's having a good holiday, and let's get stuck right into this episode.
Here we go. The first matchup of the Sunday slate that we got is the Chargers and the Falcons. Chargers coming off a tough loss there in the Harbaugh Bowl, whatever you want to call it. But I think they have a nice chance for a bounce back here.
That was what I was thinking. We have our picks with the yellow and red dot. I'm the yellow dot. AJ is the red dot. It's pretty high over-under with 47.5, and then we have the last 4 weeks with the points per games on the right hand of the side with the wide receiver and running backs. Both these teams are allowing a buttload of points to the wide receivers. So my initial thought was thinking this is going to be a crazy shootout, tight game, high over under. I kind of want some pieces in this passing game. And then who knows, Gus Edwards could be that pickup of the week too. With JK going down, he just has to stay away from that Ravens organization with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, it's so sad. I can't believe it happened against the Ravens. It's just like the story of his career. It's tragic. I hope maybe he can. I didn't see any reports on it yet, so maybe I'm off base by saying this, but I hope he can get in and play, but I would be surprised if he does, almost.
I saw, obviously, he put a brace on, but I was scrolling through Twitter, I saw the video of it, and one doctor kind of tweeted something about it, how there wasn't a lot of excessive movement. His knee kind of just got planted into the ground and pushed, and they were saying, oh, this is kind of more like an MCL sprain. So we've seen a couple players deal with that already, and some have came back in like a week. Jordan Love came back in like 3 weeks, so we'll have more medical professionals give us their opinion. But this game is pretty intriguing overall. I think these are two fun teams.
I think receivers, quarterbacks for both of these teams, obviously good choices if you need them or if you have them. Bijan, you're always going to play anyway. Running back on Chargers side is a little bit scary, but I think Gus Edwards is a perfectly fine play. Otherwise,
people probably were missing out on Darnell Mooney last week with the bye, but can fire him up again.
Yeah, have a big one.
How bad was QJ's drop during that game?
Dude, he had so many drops. He had like four drops. He went back to his last year self. So
I switched him out of my lineup. He was in there, and I took him out.
Yeah, I would maybe shy away. They're all very supportive of him, so I'm sure he's still going to get peppered. But Lad McConkey's that guy. That's all. And Will Disley. Will D. Next game, Indianapolis and New England. Got a 42.5 point total with a 2.5 favorite for Indianapolis. I don't know what to think about this game. These are two like middle of the pack teams to me. Like, I don't think New England's all that bad. I don't think Indianapolis is all that good. I could see Ramondre having a bounce back game. He had a really rough game last week. So I think maybe, I haven't checked on DraftKings prices like for Ramondre specifically, but he may be a little bit cheaper this week. He could be a nice cheap option.
I think it was 5,800.
That's pretty good for a matchup like this.
Was potentially going to slide him in, but this is definitely a spot for a bounce back game. The one person that was standing out to me actually was A-Rich. I thought he looked pretty good last week. I currently have him in my redraft lineup right now, and you just saw Tua have like a career game or his best game of best game for the year. So I'm thinking hopefully Anthony Richardson can do the same. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a tough day for Jonathan Taylor on the ground. Maybe A-Rich can shoulder some of that too. And then we'll have to get some news on Josh Downs. I believe he has an injury, but Michael Pittman looks pretty good in his...
Yeah, I got to mention as well, I don't know if you saw who took the field last week for New England. Did you get a chance to see that?
No.
Javon Baker got his first target of the season this last week.
You're going to have to give us a weekly report on Javon Baker as the only truther out there.
Is the first target of the season. I think maybe he's going to get working into the game a little bit. We'll see. It's possible, though, he might have ran the wrong route on that play, so he might not get back.
I need to not get Baker into the lineup. I need to see his his snap percentage from 16%.
They're working him in.
He did have 6%, 7%, and then 16% this week, trending in the right direction.
He's going up. So you know what? Keep him on your radar, people. Maybe he's that playoff sleeper, dude.
And he's been getting some work in the return game too, I guess. So
they're working him in. So he's good to play football these days. Which is
if
great.
No one knows, AJ is the biggest Javon Baker fan that there is in this entire world. I don't think I've ever heard anyone sniff or say his name before believes he is the next Puka Nacua. You heard it.
Well, obviously he's not. Well, he's not that. But man, you know what? He's coming out strong the end of the year. I can feel it. Year 2 breakout. Houston versus Jacksonville. What do you think about this game?
Thank God Nico is back, because that man can definitely win some championships, and that's, I feel like, the only way that CJ is going to have like good games. Huge plays to Nico, or him breaking tackles and making plays. again, another super squishy matchup for the wide receivers, both allowing over 40 points to the wide receivers, and then Jacksonville.
Load up Joe Mixon.
Yeah, put him in the cannon and fire him off.
Yeah, he might have 404.
This might be Alvin Kamara's Christmas Day performance on Thanksgiving.
I could totally see it. And you saying that now, I was talking about like, maybe I should make a trade to get my dynasty team into the playoffs. Maybe I should go see if I can get some Joe Mixon. This guy would win me the matchup, I'll tell you that. But yeah, Joe Mixon is like, get him in everywhere he can, obviously. I think Brian Thomas is a nice little play this week. He should be good to roll. Don't touch any of the Jacksonville running backs with a 10-foot pole is my advice.
No, I agree.
Seattle versus the Jets. The Jets have just been kind of atrocious everywhere. In all facets, almost.
Yeah, I want the Seattle defense on my team. That was my immediate thought. And then the other thing, too, that stood out to me was Seattle actually had their on defense for the first time this whole year. They were in like that 30th to 32nd. They were the worst against wide receivers for a long time. They had a huge game against the Cardinals. Obviously led up a ton of shit to the tight ends, though, and Trey McBride, but it dropped him all the way down to 21st in points.
I mean, I think load up your Seahawks. Like, you're going to play DK, play JSN. He's been absolutely great. Play Kenneth Walker. Geno Smith, I think, is a fine stream if you need one. On the Jets side, I mean, you're going to play Breece. You're going to play Adams. You're going to play Wilson. You're probably not happy about the receivers, but you got to play him, I think.
How nasty do you have to be to play Aaron Rodgers this week?
I'm already struggling to play Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson just based off prior weeks. I'm not playing Aaron Rodgers.
Would you play Cooper Rush or Tommy DeVito over Aaron Rodgers?
Cooper Rush, I'd play over Aaron Rodgers. That's how I feel. Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a tight game and probably low scoring. So those wide receivers.
Our first difference, I think, in this time, we got Pitt and Cincinnati.
I went with Cincinnati. You went with Pitt and a 46.5 over under. We got the 26 most points allowed by Cincinnati and the 8th most points.
You got it. I'll let you do it.
You say that.
Here's what I'm going to say is Cincinnati gives up 26 most points to... We're going to skip past it. You guys can read what's on the screen. What I will say is Pittsburgh's defense is really good, especially against wide receivers. I know Cincinnati has been like cruising through the air, but I think this could be a off the bye week letdown almost for them. I think Pittsburgh, everyone's like has a sour taste in their mouth now after that like Blizzard game. I think people are overreacting to that. This team is still very good and still I think the team to beat in that division. So I put Pittsburgh over Cincinnati here. And I think what I will say is play Pickens, but like the running backs, you're probably going to play him, but I'm not like thrilled about it.
I still think you have to play, like, obviously you're going to play Chase and T.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you had probably where you draft them, you're going to have to slide them in. And I wouldn't have this deteriorate too much. Like, I don't know. They'll be fine. They probably won't have like the huge boom games, but they'll still have some safe games for you. T probably a little more shaky.
I agree. I mean, yeah, you're going to play them. They'll just be a middle of the pack play this week. I don't think you'll get those boom weeks like you happen.
Tennessee and Washington, like you noted earlier in the episode, stay away. Do not play your running backs against Tennessee, except people might be doing it this week with McNichols.
That's the trap, I think. Everyone's talking about this waiver wire pickup in McNichols, but I think it's a trap specifically because of how Tennessee's been playing against the run.
I think it's a trap. Like, if I had my choice of McNichols or Gus 100%.
Gus 100%
because it's a way better matchup. And then also, like, I mean, B-Rob already kind of tried coming back into the game. He couldn't finish the game. Eckler's a concussion. Maybe he passes concussion protocol, too. And then now you're just stuck with the RB3 against a good run defense team.
Yep. This is my upset of the week. Tennessee, they play teams tight. Washington's been pretty mediocre these last couple games. They've lost to teams like the Dallas Cowboys. Like, come on, what are you doing? So I think this is a game that the Titans will stay close in and actually win.
I don't have the same biases going with Washington, but kind of just a grosser game.
I don't like this game for... I think Pollard's a fine play, but outside of that, I don't really like anyone too much.
Yeah, like a lot of teams have been riding Jaden Daniels to the championship. This one, I think I would try and look for someone else to stream, especially with kind of how he played last week too. Like, if you didn't have that 87-yard touchdown, whatever it was, to Terry McLaurin in the game, you would have been so disappointed.
Absolutely, agree. Speaking of disappointment, Arizona versus Minnesota. Arizona's offense really let Dayne and I down. We had a lot of high hopes for them, and they threw a dud last week. I don't know if it gets any better this week.
No, it looks like it's going to be a tough day on the ground for both teams, especially James Conner. But the one good thing about James Conner is he does get some passing work, so he can salvage his fantasy day that way. Same with Aaron Jones. But it will be a lot more difficult than it has been in the past. And then for the wide receivers also, I mean, Jefferson has been amazing at home. So, and you're never going to sit Jefferson, so I like that. The only way that I see Arizona's offense having like a good fantasy day is if Minnesota blows them out in the first half. They just let up and let Arizona try and catch up.
I think that is a good take. I mean, if you have Kyler, I think you got to play him. He's been like very on and off. This would be a game where you sit him and then he goes off for some reason. I think if you have him, you play him. That's what I'm doing. I got him in Dynasty. I'm going to play him. But it's scary. I will give all of you owners that. I know you're probably looking for other options, but
he could have a nice rushing day because Minnesota loves to blitz so much that if they start blitzing him and he just has some open lanes, some free space, so if people are coming at him and he passes them by,
high rushing game for him. Good floor. Yeah. Next, you got Tampa Bay and Carolina. Carolina looking a little bit better these days, especially opposing wide receivers. But I still think Tampa Bay is just the better team. Bucky Irving, Rashad White, and I guess Sean Tucker these days.
No, he might be done. You see that he fumbled on the goal line?
Did he? I did not see that. Oh, that was him? The one where Baker had to pick it up. So either way, I think those two, at least Rashad and Bucky Irving, I mean, keep playing them if you got them. They're getting just pounded with work.
And then I'll be fine with playing Mike Evans too.
You gotta.
Even though, like, I was watching some of that game, Carolina's just good against wide receivers because they allow so many pass interferences. Like, J.C. Horn was getting called on everything. It's not actually counting.
That's
like
a possibility.
Yeah. Also, teams probably don't really have to pass it on that much because they're so bad. But I'm not scared of Mike Evans. And do you think this is the Jonathan Brooks breakout week, or is it going to take a lot longer?
I think most people who have him have probably been waiting for him to come back and are like, dude, I've needed a running back for so long.
Yeah.
I'm playing him. And I'm playing Chuba too. So
I'm playing Chuba. I don't know if I was someone that drafted Brooks. I got lucky with some pickups. I'm going to play those players over Brooks until I see
it's
at
not,
least
it's not
like a 50-50.
It's not like a force him into your lineup type situation, but I feel like a lot of those teams that drafted Jonathan Brooks are like, if they didn't hit on those waiver pickups like you did, they're like, damn, I need someone to play, and they're probably going to have to play him.
He might have had like one of the worst fake news reports as like CMC. Like,
yeah. I was like, he's going to be ready like early. He's ahead of schedule or all that jazz. Full agree. There we go. Rams and New Orleans. Both of these teams apparently don't like playing defense in any capacity. Up your players. I don't really know who you fire up on. Is Olave back these days, or is he done for like a year?
But it's Taysom Hill and Kamara.
Week. No,
you think it's gonna be a
Kamara week? You think it's gonna be a Kamara week, and then Taysom Hill's gonna come in? Oh boy,
it will be both of their weeks, I think.
But I think like fire up Kyron, fire up Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, fire up Kamara, fire up Taysom. They're gonna have a big day.
Quarterbacks too. I think Carr is a decent
especially
stream.
In like super flex leagues. Like these are probably guys you've been like, I gotta play these guys, but like play them.
Yeah, probably Stafford is probably on some waivers too. He would be almost like the best waiver stream of the week.
I definitely agree. I don't think we have much more to say other than play everyone. It's gonna be a high scoring game.
Play everyone. High scoring game.
Yeah. Same thing. Gonna be same thing, but like way better teams. And it's probably going to be like a fantastic game to watch. But the thing is, man, I mean, you have to play everyone because Philadelphia's just got so many good players. Or Baltimore's got a lot of good players, but Philadelphia's defense is pretty stingy.
Yes. So maybe I'm going to check real quick and see what the points allowed to tight ends are. Because maybe this is just a Mark Andrews,
I think,
funnel game.
I mean, you're going to play Lamar, you're going to play Henry, you're going to play Zay, and maybe this is a week where you can feel confident about playing Mark.
Eagles allow 10.5 to tight ends.
Mark's been getting back into the mix as well, like a lot more these past couple weeks, so I'd feel confident about playing Mark.
I think it'll be a really nice day for Lamar. He's going to have to make a lot of things happen on the ground. He's going to scramble, he's going to get those rushing yards, probably a rushing touchdown. He's going to make magic work, but Philly's going to be scoring, Baltimore's going to be scoring too.
Dude, Saquon Barkley is just an insane person. He's just so good. I don't know why people doubted, like myself included. Like I wasn't like super high on Saquon going into the year just because I think I had a sour taste with how the Eagles ended last year. But man, it was just such a brain dead easy pick to make, and everyone waited too long to pick him.
I was watching the Pat McAfee show today, and they made a really funny point how the Hard Knocks offseason is just going to be a way to fire your GM and head coach the next season because the moves that they made where the owner was like, I don't know, guys, I really like Saquon. I want to keep him in.
Oh, I know.
I don't know. I don't think I want to keep Daniel Jones around. I think we should trade up for Jaden Daniels. They didn't do either. They let Saquon go to the Eagles, and then they let the defensive player of the year probably and McKinney go to the Packers.
Can you imagine? Oh my God. They keep Saquon, they get Jaden Daniels, they keep McKinney. They're like a real football team. That's pretty funny.
They still would probably be all ass. Careers.
Yeah, but they'd be better, I'd bet you. Is there another one? Yes, there is. San Francisco and Buffalo. What do you think about this one?
One thing I forgot to talk about in the last matchup too was Devonta Smith. So this is a 3:00 game. like, what do you do with him? Do you throw him into your lineup if you have to trust that he's going to be playing? It's a hamstring injury, he didn't play.
Auto sub users use auto sub. Otherwise, I mean,
well, you know how auto sub works. It only subs if you have a player eligible to swap in after.
Is that really how that works? Oh, dude, I've been using auto sub wrong.
I know. I've seen like our league mates use it where it's like Jake puts like a player.
Yeah.
No, it's not like auto. It's just like it will make lineup adjustments for you, but it has to be like an eligible move. You can't like throw someone in from Thursday night game when you have an injured player.
The more you know. The more you know.
Anyway, that's what I think. I
don't think that's what it is. I don't.
Okay.
I think well, we can double check that at a different time, not right now. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what your other option is, right? If you have like a reasonable guy to put in instead of him, I would probably do it just to be safe. But you are playing some random guy like Noah Brown over him, I wouldn't. I would just pick up then like one of the random Philadelphia receivers or like Nelson Aguilar or like not Rashad Bateman, obviously, but like, you know what I mean? One of those type of guys. It's the same thing as playing one of those guys. You might as well wait and see if he's going to play.
Okay, I have a question. T. Higgins, you throw him in at the noon game, or do you risk it? Vonta Smith may be a game time decision.
That's just me, though. San Francisco, Buffalo I'm assuming Brock Purdy will be back. I guess we don't know for sure.
I don't know.
This game is going to be ugly.
And if he's not back, do you just rest him the rest of the year?
Yeah, it's possible.
Like they're almost eliminated.
Tragically bad without him.
Yeah, they're almost eliminated. If they lose this, I think they are officially eliminated from playoff contention. So that division's so close that can't be real. But it's like a 13% chance that they have right now, which doesn't feel real. Buffalo is favored almost by 7 points. We have a 44.5 over under, and then Buffalo's defense not looking amazing for fantasy, but the San Francisco is allowing not a lot of points.
I'm like James Cook, I think, could have a big week. I've never been like huge on playing Bills pass catchers anyway, so this doesn't really affect that much. Obviously, you're going to play Josh Allen. You're going to play Christian McCaffrey, and you're going to play like Debo. Do you play Debo or Juwan Jennings if Brandon Allen is playing football? I don't know if I do.
It's so weird. So I have Debo, and I've been watching their games. I thought they'd like use him a lot more how they did in the past, and like in the backfield, give him some rushing things, some jet sweeps. I feel like they're not really doing anything really creative with Debo right now.
Yeah.
Which really sucks because if they were, I would be like, yeah, I'll throw him in there. But
I think I sit them if random, I don't remember his name, Brandon Allen. What is his name? I don't know.
I think it's Brandon Allen.
Yeah, something like that. Whoever that guy is, if he's playing, I don't think I play the pass catchers, but I play CMC. That's about it.
I can get down with that.
Next game is Cleveland and Denver. Denver.
Last game of the week.
Is it? This is a Monday. This feels like a gross Monday night game.
I agree. Also, I don't know. Was this the one that was just flexed? Or was that next week or something? I thought there was a new flex alert.
This might have been flexed. This was flexed, or it's the next Thursday night is flexed. I don't remember what it is. But Denver's a part of it, I'm pretty sure. Bonix has been great. Cortland Sutton's been great. Don't touch the Denver running backs, unfortunately. You don't know which one it's going to be ever. And the run game has been bad, even if they do pick one guy to use it, or to like use only. As for Cleveland, Njoku's been great. It's kind of
he dropped a touchdown last week.
He did. He
should have
did.
had more points.
It's kind of tough to play Chubb or Jerome Ford by almost in those situations. I feel like you're going to...
I think you got some more confidence with Chubb last week. He had 2 rushing touchdowns.
He just hasn't looked exceptionally great. Maybe that's why I'm off. But yeah, you're right. He did end up having a bounce back 2 touchdown week. So play Chubb. Play Judy, I guess.
I think if you're comfortable with playing Judy, you're comfortable with playing any of the wide receivers. But the only question you have to kind of ask yourself is who's going to get the primary coverage from Patrick Surtain. And that's the player I don't really want to play.
Probably Judy.
I was thinking him or Tillman, just because Tillman is that bigger body player that could kind of make some bigger plays over some other receivers, and they have a faster corner that can cover.
I mean, I don't particularly want to play any of the Browns pass catchers, like minus Njoku.
No, it's definitely gross.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it this week, and going into a Monday night game where you're banking on one of them is just not going to feel good. No. I wouldn't recommend it.
For the Week 13 primer, let us know what you think. Let us know if you disagree with any of our takes here. If you think a player's going to suck and you think they're going to be a beast, let us know. We love to hear it. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and we appreciate you all for watching. We'll see you next time.